business that you love? Or how do you transform the business that you have into one that you'll feel fantastic about if you don't right now? That is exactly what we're going to discuss today. Hello and welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm with me, Tara Swiger. This is episode 109. This is also day one of Month of Biz Love, which is a month-long exploration into falling in love with your business, whether you're building it from the ground up or you've had it for years and you just need to be more in love with it, turn it into something that you can really love. So Month of Biz Love is a monthly exploration into doing that. It has daily challenges on Instagram. So you can follow me, instagram.com/TaraSwiger for those daily challenges. And it has daily video lessons, of which this is day one, which you can find on YouTube. taraswiger.com/YouTube will take you there, or you can just search YouTube for hashtag Month of Biz Love, and all of the video lessons that have happened so far will pop up. It also includes a workbook that will help you apply these challenges to your own business. It's 32-page workbook / journal, over 5,000 words of business lessons and then questions, so that you really make the Month of Biz Love something that makes you fall in love with your business. If you'd like to get that workbook, it's totally free. You just go to taraswiger.com/monthofbizlove and sign up there. We will email it right to you. And then you can participate on Instagram with the hashtag Month of Biz Love. So again, you get that workbook at taraswiger.com/monthofbizlove. So how do you do it? Where do you start building a business you'll love? In preparation for this challenge, I started to list ideas of ways that will help you fall in love with your business. And then I decided I need to map it all out. All of the parts of your business that you can improve that would make you love it more or make you enjoy it more or would turn it into something that you like better. If you are listening to the audio version, you're not going to be able to see this, but if you're watching on YouTube, you will see my map of all the things you can fix in your business to make you love it more. So you just, if you are listening to the audio version, you can see the video at taraswiger.com/YouTube. So let's start at the very beginning. You got to know what you want. In order to love your business, you need to know what it is you want out of your business. And then you need to tap into why you want that, because it's not enough to just want something. You need to know what you're going to do with that and why you're actually doing it. So I refer to this as your mission. And if you've listened to episode 89 of the podcast, then you know that your mission informs your strategy, which informs your tactics. So a lot of people get hung up on tactics, like how should I use Instagram hashtags? That's a tactic. You want to start with knowing what your mission is and your strategy, does it include Instagram or not, and then you can choose your tactics. So your mission impacts all of your decisions, and you're going to build your strategy to be in alignment with your missions, and then you're going to choose your tactics to carry out your strategies. And now once you have your mission, you need to break it down into the very next step. And for most of us, that's setting a specific goal. So you have your mission and then you break it down into your goal, and then there's a lot around goal setting and a lot around, people get hung up on the word goal, but it's really just what are you going to do next to carry out your mission? So a lot of the stuff to do with your goal is around mindset, having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, having a challenge mindset versus a threat mindset, and then you need to choose the right kind of goal for where you are right now. There are different kinds of goals, and some will stress you out, and some will make you feel confident, and some will make you work hard. And then you want to break that goal down into doable steps and identify the quests or the actions you're going to take to make that goal and make that mission happen. So once you've got the goal and the doable actions, you go on quests, like I'm going to do this thing in the next 24 hours or the next week. Then you actually do it. And then as you're actually moving forward and doing things, there's a lot of stuff that comes up. So there are obstacles that come in your way. There are successes that you need to learn how to celebrate, so to remember that you've had successes. And then there's a process of regularly reviewing it all, so you identify what's working and what's not working. A lot of people think that setting a goal and turning it into doable steps, then you're just done, then you just implement. And in some cases, that's true. If you need to, say, start a website, there are some very specific tasks you have to do. Like you have to buy your URL, you have to buy your domain name, or that's the same thing. You have to buy your hosting. You have to install whatever you're going to install on the website to make it a website like WordPress or something. But for most of our goals, like increase sales or reach more customers or get in craft shows, there's so many things we could do. There's so many tactics we could do and so many strategies we could go after that we need to review. What did I do and what's working? And what did I review and what did I do that's not working? So you're reviewing, make sure that you're still moving in the right direction and that you do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So as you're moving forward on your goal, you are reviewing and accelerating, but you may actually struggle to know what you need to do to move forward on that goal. What's the strategy you're going to do? And for a lot of businesses, especially in the beginning, or if they started as a hobby and never really worked on the foundations, the answer to a lot of their how do I move forward on this goal questions come down to 3 main foundations. Well, there's actually 4, but the first one is knowing your mission, and then it's knowing your numbers, knowing your message and your people, and then knowing how you're spending your time and being effective on spending your time. So we work on all 4 of those foundations in Liftoff, which is actually going to open in just a few weeks. But if you're interested, you can go to tarasweiger.com/lift and learn a little more about that if you feel like your foundations are where you need work. So once you've got your foundations in place, or you know which ones you're going to work on, then you start to create some of that strategy. You think about how you're going to go about reaching your mission and choosing specific tactics and tools that are going to help you get to that mission. Then you continue reviewing what's working, what's not, and integrate it into the next thing you do. So everything I just said there, everything on my map is what we're going to cover in Month of Biz Love. And there are worksheets and a kind of journal for each challenge, each of these areas, so you can explore what it is you need to do in that area. Not everybody to love their biz needs to work on all of these areas, but something that I just said is probably the thing that's keeping you from loving your business. So for a lot of us, it's the very first thing. It's the knowing what we want and recognizing the difference between what we want and where we want to go. No, what we want and where we are right now. Recognizing that difference and then, like I just walked through, breaking that difference down into steps of what you're actually going to do. So I've met many people who have created a business or at least created an audience, but they don't love it. They're not happy with it. That's not what they wanted. And the problem is they never really got clear on what they wanted in the first place, or maybe what they wanted changed. Maybe in the beginning they wanted to write for magazines and now they want to sell products. And if you don't recognize what's changed and then change your business accordingly, then you're not going to be happy with what you have. So, we are going to talk about that first step in today's episode. So we covered kind of everything we're going to talk about in Month of Biz Love. We're going to go deep on each one of those subjects over the next month. But let's start right now with day 1, identifying what kind of business you really want. So I've got a couple questions for you. These questions can be found in the workbook, which you can get at tarasweiger.com/monthofbizlove. So if you are driving or cooking or walking and you can't write down the answers to these questions, go get the workbook and you can write down the answers there. All of what I'm about to say is on page 2 of the workbook. So what would your dream business look like? In an ideal world, what would you actually be doing with yourself? And what would you not do? Because identifying the best version of your business and the stuff you don't want to do anymore is the very first step to loving the business that you build. Because you want to keep this dream business in mind so that you're always moving towards it and so that you always know you are creating the thing you really do want. And it will let you spot it once you have it. The more you get closer and closer to your dream business, the more you'll realize, oh, I actually have that aspect of it. That is definitely what's happened in my business. For the longest time, I said, like, I want an office to work in. I want a place to shoot videos. And now I have one. And it's good that I wrote it down what my dream business was so I could go back and say, oh, I do that. Or I said, I'm going to spend most of my day writing. Oh, I do that most days of the week. Or anything you can dream of in your dream business, when you actually are doing it, having identified it means you'll know, oh, I've got that part of my dream business already. So here are a couple questions for you to answer to get clear on what your dream business is. So just what would your dream business be like? You can just start writing anything that comes to mind about what your dream business would be like. And then how would you spend most of your working time? What kind of projects would you work on? what actions would you be taking with most of your working time? There's no business where you spend 100% of the time on things that make you super happy, but knowing what you want to spend most of your time on can help you get rid of the things you don't actually need to be doing and that aren't related to what you want. And then this is an important one. How many hours would you work in your dream business? Would you work more hours or less hours than you do now? People are on different sides of the spectrum, right? Some people are trying to cut back on their working time. Other ones are trying to scale up on their working in their own business time so they can scale back on other times. And then this is an important one. How would you feel when you work? It's just a big difference between a business where you feel enthusiastic every day and a business where you feel calm every day, or a business where you feel creatively fulfilled every day, or a business where you feel a real sense of freedom and you're not tied down. Those different feelings are going to indicate the kind of thing you need to build into your business, right? So if you want to feel freedom and not tied down, then you probably shouldn't create a membership community, or you shouldn't create something where you're having to deliver the same content, or perhaps product kits. I have several clients and friends who have massive product kits, and that really, they have deadlines and they're tied down in that way, which is not a bad thing, because for them, their most important priority isn't freedom. So how would you feel when you work is that question. Then what tasks or projects would you do? What kinds of things would you be working on? In your dream business, are you writing a book? Are you sewing dresses? Are you coming out with your own pattern line? Are you painting giant paintings? Are you painting tiny paintings? Like, what kind of projects would you do in your dream business? And this is an important one. What would you not do? What would you not be spending your time on if you had your dream business? Super important. We're going to talk more about you have permission to not do everything and how to say no to things. We're going to talk more about that in Month of Biz Love. And then also, how much money would you like to make? I think a lot of people think they feel weird about money. I get emails from people all the time that are like, well, I'd like to make my business to make money if that doesn't sound awful. No, of course. That's what a business is. It's profitable. So knowing how much you'd like to make is an integral part of what kind of business you're going to build. If you're trying to get to $1 million business, you're going to make different decisions than if you're trying to get to a $50,000 a year business. And you're going to make different kind of decisions if you just want a couple $100s a month. I've met people all along that spectrum and helped them work on their business, and they have totally different businesses, and their businesses make them happy because that's what they wanted. So how much would you like to make in total sales, and how much would you like to make in profit? Because those two numbers are usually pretty far apart. And that's, again, one of the foundations we're going to talk about in Month of Biz Love is knowing your numbers. So if you want to answer these questions, what I just asked, this is exactly what's on page 2 of the 33-page Month of Biz Love workbook, which you can get at taraswiger.com/monthofbizlove. So after you think this through, I want you to share it with us. I would love to hear what your dream business looks like. Use the hashtag #monthofbizlove on Instagram and post a photo or tell us about your dream business. You can share any of the answers to the above questions, or you can just share a sentence or two of what you're working towards. Whenever I do an Instagram challenge, some people say, well, I'm not comfortable talking about this on Instagram. So in the workbook, I've given you every challenge has ideas for how you can answer that question. So if you just want to talk about business stuff, you don't have to talk about personal stuff. But with your dream business, your customers would love to hear what kind of dream business you want. So you can answer any of the questions I asked, or you can just write a sentence or two. Like, in my dream business, I would do this and this, or my business is already close to my dream because I do this and this. Now, I want you to remember, this is just step 1. You cannot spend all day dreaming about your dream business and actually create a business that you love. However, you do need to start here so that you have some pattern, some template moving forward. You always want to come back to, is this really the business I want or not want? So this is just step 1. Next step in Month of Biz Love is turning this action into a plan and finding even more to love on in your business. So again, if you're listening to the audio podcast, I want to remind you that you are not getting all of the lessons. So the audio podcast just goes out once a week, but in Month of Biz Love, I am creating a new video lesson every single day for 30 days from May 25th through June 24th. So you can get all of those lessons on YouTube at taraswiger.com/YouTube, or just search YouTube for #monthofbizlove. And I checked that out today. It all works. They all come up. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss an episode. You get the new one every day. I cannot wait to hear what your dream business is. I can't wait till you start exploring it and start bringing your current business more and more in alignment with your dream business. So remember to answer and tell me on Instagram with the hashtag monthofbizlove. Don't forget you can get that workbook at taraswiger.com/monthofbizlove. Thank you so much and have a very enthusiastically loving day.